If y'all, been big time followers of this podcast, even if you're not, you will know by now. We really try to dig in, and it's not just about a team getting blown out, but it's about how that team or why did that team get blown out. Or the score seemed like a blowout, but it was actually, according to the X's and O's and play calling, a lot closer than you would think. But in this case, the score is exactly what happened. It was a blowout, ladies and gentlemen. It was a blowout. My two biggest takeaways from watching the game. Well, let me make sure I give y'all these stats on Edward Waters, because obviously it's like, you can say, yeah, man, Jackson State won. Everybody's rooting for Dion, and obviously the slight to that could be, man, they ain't even much play nobody, right? So just a little background on the Edward Waters football program. Last year, 2019 season, they went 0-10. They had 2 games in which they never scored any points. Their worst loss was 61-0, and they had 60 games in which they gave up 40 points, and they gave up on average 38 points. So all this happened last year. Then they start this year, obviously COVID, and may not have been able to prepare and do whatever and so forth. They come out and they lose to Jackson State 53-0. Going back to talking about AAU basketball in the summertime and all these rankings, like there's that one guy or a couple guys that may be top 5 when you go to this big old circuit where all these college coaches are at, and you unrank and you get to step on the floor with guys who are ranked in the top 5, or you probably lucky enough to step on the court with a guy who's number 1 in the country, and you get a chance to go against that guy, make a name for yourself, and now you on everybody's watch list. I think that was my initial takeaway, is like, that's going to be the beauty in Jackson State playing against other teams, other HBCUs, and it being broadcasted more. But when you get the opportunity, bro, you gotta perform, step up. I said, Edward Waters College, I ain't gonna trash y'all. I don't know y'all situation in y'all program, but 53-0, it wasn't a lot of great football that I saw. And it's kind of hard for me to fully judge Jackson State on who they went against, but what I would tell people, what I took away from watching the game, is Jackson State's offensive line was very respectable. And I tried to make sure I wasn't just giving it to them easy because of who they were going against, but I would like to see how their offensive line just progresses, and like they look hella big on the front line, and Edward Waters shouldn't have scored. Offense and defense, they shouldn't have scored at all. And so it was nice to see that Jackson State didn't play down to the competition. But I think the biggest thing that I found most attractive about the Jackson State's football team is their offensive line. It wasn't really the skills position guys, because I don't really know what they're going to do when you're going up against tougher opponents. But Jackson State's offensive line looked really, really good to me. And I think that was a plus in terms of a real nice takeaway from the game as it relates to X's and O's. I know you got the chance to watch the game, Christian. It's like, what did you see or not see? What did you think about it? The team's debut.
Yeah, so I think a couple of things we got to think about when watching this. If you were to watch Alabama play Florida Tech, right? And Alabama beat them 53-0, we would just leave like, okay, that's what they're supposed to do, and then go on, right? No one would try to crown them afterwards, but you just, hey, that's what they're supposed to do. So this was the same type of situation. So if someone's really trying to gather, okay, what is Jackson State like? Are they actually good? Are they not? And also, too, this was the first game, so there were a few mistakes, a few pre-snap penalty mistakes. And stuff like that. There were a few coverage busts. Actually, if Edward Waters had a better quarterback, it would have put a few points up. So they did have a few coverage busts. But it looks like offensively, their offensive scheme, they want to run the ball. They're kind of a spread type of offense, and they do some stuff out of the pistol, but they want to run the ball first. The pass game doesn't look very sophisticated to me. And the quarterback, I don't really like the quarterback that much. He missed some open guys. So I mean, I think they should have probably scored 70 or 80. And then also too, Deuce McAllister, who did a pretty decent job broadcasting the game. he noted a few times where there were guys open down the field and he read the ball. So, you know, I would like to see them against, you know, some other SWAC talent to see what they're really about. But I mean, hey, they went out and they did what they were supposed to do, right? They were supposed to kill the team. They did what they were supposed to do. They looked like a formidable program. You know, not that many mistakes to be super worried. But you know, as far as their line, the line play did look pretty good. But again, you know, the guys they're facing is not top talent. So, but you know, hey, they came out and did what they were supposed to do.